I'd say the most memorable site there in Saltillo, there was a statue of the Savior on top of a hill, and this hill was actually in my first area, so I got to visit it on one of my P days, and it was a really cool site. It obviously wasn't dedicated to the church, but it was still interesting, and you could see the statue from miles around all throughout Saltillo. And so yeah, that's a site I would recommend. I know there was also another park there, but I can't remember what it was called or and what zone it was. But I imagine that's another site that other missionaries got to enjoy. As far as weather, the weather in Saltillo was very unique. In the winters, it would get very cold, actually, which isn't usually expected of Mexico. I would actually recommend any missionaries going to Monterey that they do pack warm, because you will get the cold weather as well. One fun memory from Saltillo, I actually spent my first New Year's there, and we were visiting another pair of missionaries, and we just spent the night at their place, and we were sleeping on top of the roof, and we were overlooking the valley that Saltillo resides in, and as 12 o'clock came around, like, you could just see fireworks bursting everywhere, like, just everywhere, fireworks. It was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. The houses are made of block, and the way we'd shower, we had to fill a bucket with water and then connect an electric rod, and just leave it in the water for a good 15 to 30 minutes to let the water heat up, and then we just pour the water on us, and that was our shower in that area in Saltillo. My first year in Mexico, the danger level, the security was a little, it was a little more dangerous than my first year, but things did get a lot better as the time went on. And yeah, there are different levels of poverty and of wealth. I'd say the last area where I served, it was definitely a lot more wealthy. The houses had higher quality, and so addressing first the shops, yeah, there are little, we call them tiendas, they're little shops scattered throughout the neighborhoods, and those were really nice. You could just go and quickly buy a loaf of bread or a quick drink if you needed, like, or milk or something. But they do have some Americanized stores as well. That I did run into a Walmart, and I also saw Pizza Hut and Burger King at one point in Saltillo. So they had those. And then as far as traveling, I would definitely recommend before entering a taxi that you ask the taxi driver how much it's going to cost to get to the location that you're looking for, because they will take advantage of you in that way. I was never robbed, but I was definitely swindled. So yeah, I'd recommend that. I would recommend to the missionaries that they ask the taxi drivers what it's going to cost them to get to their destination. I think that's the advice I have. Oh, and be sure to contact them. That's a great way to meet people. We actually had an investigator who progressed it very well, who we contacted on one of the buses once. So definitely make sure you're looking around for those opportunities to talk to everyone and share the message of the restoration. I love the food, actually, even though a lot of it was just really generic, like rice and beans and tortillas, eggs and chicken. It was good. I enjoyed it all. They tell you before the mission to be careful with the water, and I definitely agree. I got sick several times drinking from the water, especially in Saltillo and in another main zone called Monclova. In Monterey, it's not as bad. I felt like you could drink a little more of the tap water, and you'd be all right. I'd avoid it, but you could potentially drink from it and be all right. As far as unique foods, there's something they have there, and I'm sure they have this on other interviews, but there's a food called menudo, which is just cow stomach. It's a delicacy for the members there, and every member you meet who says they make menudo, they say, "Oh, you haven't tried my menudo yet. You gotta have it." But no, it's all the same. It's all disgusting, honestly. But it is a fun experience. Saltillo, something I thought was interesting but kind of nice. They did tend to serve more vegetables there, and so yeah, if you're trying to be a little more healthy, well, you can be thankful for tender mercies when you get sent to Saltillo. Let's see, there are a lot of Chihuahuas, like the stereotype says. I didn't like them at first, but then they kind of grew on me. But most missionaries, I know they're not huge fans of them. But I don't recall having any problems with any dogs. I know one missionary, I think he got bit once, but it was on the pant leg, so he didn't have to get checked for rabies or anything. They aren't very clean, unfortunately, so that's kind of a bummer, but they're dogs. I think I was going to comment more on weather. So we said that Saltillo, it's a little, like it can get cold, but I'd say Saltillo definitely has the best weather of anywhere in either of the two missions. And Monclova, that's another main city in the Saltillo mission, and then also in the city of Monterey, they have something called La Canicula, which is a period of about 40 days when the weather is really warm. It's about like 110 degrees just during those 40 days. And so that's just another fun part of the mission that you tend to remember.